to 1996. So I worked on the Windows team. So I guess Reversi and Solitaire were my first games. But the first real game I shipped was in 1997, which was Half-Life.
Yeah, these kids haven't been on a tour here yet. We just walked into the building.
Oh, so you haven't walked around here?
We just got here.
Oh,
We're doing
okay.
it at the end.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. Are any of you interested in game careers?
Yeah, definitely.
And what, do you have an idea of how you're going to get into the game business?
No, Dolan says, I guess you'd have to have programming, animation, UI, stuff like that.
Okay. So, movies have a fixed way of production. They have a fixed production model. It's sort of creaky and starting to fail in some ways, but they feel like they're doing the same thing in terms of how they do it. Video games are not that way at all. Video games, we have to build something new each time. And that changes the recipe for success. What happens is people who, rather than being very specialized in one way, is generalists with a lot of skills, are able to see the opportunities to create something new. So in the movies, you start off as an animator, and then as you get better as an animator, you animate animals, and then you animate talking animals, and then you animate the mouth on a talking cat, right? That's how you become more and more valuable. You become narrower and narrower. In games, between one game and another game, you'll completely redesign how you create performance. And none of the technical aspects of what you did in the last game work in your next game. So you can't keep getting more and more specialized, because the thing you're getting specialized in is already obsolete. So that's both the good news and bad news of video games. Artists who can program have more opportunities than artists who can't program. Programmers who can draw or even act are more successful than programmers who can't.
Okay.
Do any of you play our games?
Yes.
Which games do you play?
TV2,
Team Fortress 2?
Yeah, put that.
L4D, Half-Life.
When you play multiplayer, do you play with people who are deaf, or do you play with the general with people who can hear?
Both. Yeah, they all say both words.
Is there anything about our multiplayer experience that we don't understand for the deaf gamer? Any obvious mistakes?
Not anything I can think of. Well, yeah, one of the games, Team Fortress 2,
Yep.
you'll have to bear with me. The first character, Tarnus, in the game, doesn't show captioning,
Uh-huh.
and that's a problem.
Which character was that?
Which character again? Actually, all the characters. Like Scout,
Oh,
all the characters.
well, we'll fix that.
The taunt?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Taunt, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I understand, for the playtest next week, I understand you're captioning you have it ready for the playtest next week, will be captioned, that's my understanding.
Yes.
What was
Is that
that?
right, Dan?
We're gonna be captioning for they're gonna play test, the group's gonna come in and play test next week.
Yeah.
And the Van Buren's been working with us to add some closed captions.
Making a note. We need to add closed captioning and we're ahead of the game.
Good deal.
What else about, but when you play with the team,
You guys play
they're
with
both
teams?
hearing and deaf, are they with you or on the internet?
Or are they on the internet? They're on the internet.
So how do you
So
communicate
how do you
with them?
communicate with them?
Go through IM and so
So
forth.
like through
But
IM.
that's separate from the game,
But that's
the
separate
game
from the
itself.
game?
It's all in
It's
the
in the
game,
game.
communication in the game.
Yeah.
So are there any special problems or
Dolan says, but it's not on like Xbox
But
and
not
stuff
on the
like
Xbox?
that.
It's not like the Xbox.
And do you mean like the chat is not on the Xbox? Like when you're on the computer, you're fine because you have instant messaging and stuff, you have those abilities, but you don't have the same abilities on like Xbox with the same games. You know, when we're online, people don't realize that we're deaf, right? They'll be talking into their microphones and we're not responding to them. So maybe they'll say something, you know, in the chat box and, you know, like, why aren't you listening? And then I respond back, oh, well, I'm deaf. And, you know, I mean, it's a little bit frustrating sometimes to not be able to communicate in that way. And Dolan's saying that might cause people to get kind of angry with us and then they quit, right? Right, yeah, because we're not communicating with them when they're talking, right? I'm just saying that would be kind of another neat option. If you could like click on or off, like I'm able to use my microphone or I'm not, you know?
Is there, so there are a lot of different voice chat programs on the PC. I'd assume people who are deaf just use IM, but is there some hearing impaired optimized communication channel?
You mean like using voice or using IM? What, I guess we're not following your question.
Oh, I wanted to make sure there wasn't something we didn't know about. I play with the sound off.
There are, like I use Google Chat, and you can either type into Google, or you can have a video, so I can sign with somebody else on Google, so I have that option. I don't know if you can use that while you're playing the game, but Yahoo has that, Google has that, and I'm sure there's
That would
other.
be really nice. That'd be super cool if you could sign while you're playing the game. Yeah, that would
That's
be
separate
awesome.
from the game.
That would be really nice to have like a video chat on the game. You know, maybe it could be like that bottom right-hand corner or something. That could be an option.
So, go ahead.
I noticed that a lot of the games, like, I'm missing, I'm not familiar with the games, I apologize. Like the navigation games, the sound and stuff, if you have sound, they'll warn you that somebody's coming, or you could hear the gun. You know, it'd be nice to maybe have some sort of captioning at the bottom that says, hey, a gun's firing, or somebody's approaching, or something's gonna crash. You know, it'd be nice to have that kind of warning that the hearing people get through audio. And then, you know, again, that would be an option you could either shut on or turn on or off. Like sound effects. On Half-Life they have it. Oh yeah, you're saying you like that.
Yep.
Yeah, on some of the other games they don't have that. Okay, we need like one at a time.
So that would be separate from the caption.
Yeah, and that would be separate from the captioning, the sound effects.
So if you're chatting with someone